The last time we spoke about entertainment in the home, and we spoke about keeping the kids busy and occupied, as well as the home together and unified during times of load shedding and even times when there's really no power supply, but we still need to keep going. Today we're going to be talking about smart homes, digifying our homes. We learned the last time about IoT. Today, we're going to see how we bring IoT into our homes and the ways that we connect the different appliances, the ways that we get our homes digified and all connected, because we've seen how our phones can maneuver anything, anywhere that we are, especially our homes. So join me for this episode. Today we're back with our guest Philani Bubu, who is the host of Design for You on the Home channel on DSTV, as well as Marcel Steyn, who is the head of home segments at Vodacom. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, too.
So before we continue, do you mind if I offer you a coffee?
Oh, don't mind at all. I'll have it black, strong, no sugar, no milk.
I got you. And how do you like yours?
The same as well, thank you very much.
I am on it.
Wow.
There we go.
You know, I always wonder if making coffee is like a ritual where you get up and you go there and do it, so you build up that time, or if it's like I want to have it immediately the moment I get up and it's ready, you know.
Here we go, here's
sure
yours.
How sweet. Thank you so much.
Can I offer you one too?
Yes, please, thank you very
Looks
much.
great. Wow, did you actually say cool, or at least like medium?
Well, that's hot.
Wow, but it's ready to drink, eh?
Yeah.
The worst is like you always put your coffee aside and you're waiting, but you have no barometer of when it's going to be actually ready to drink.
And here we go.
Thank you so much.
And now that we have our coffees, let's talk about, we've just seen an example of a connected home. I literally walked down the stairs on my way to go do school drop off. On the way out, and I grabbed my cup of coffee because I would have set my cup there in the morning, and all I do is just open up my phone, press one button, and my coffee's made, and I grab it on the way out.
I think that's
literally
amazing. Yeah. I mean, the first thing you do when you wake up is to think about a cup of coffee and to think about Instagram. So if you've got the device, no, seriously, it's like the first app, and then now you know, the coffee's actually getting done while you waste some time on Instagram.
Absolutely, and I think that's where everybody's kind of moving, right?
Yeah.
Into just connected homes, getting everything vibing. We are looking into, as a family, setting up the kind of aircon that regulates the temperature in the house. And cools it off when it needs to be cooled off, warms the home up when it needs to be warmed up. And, you're able to set certain temperatures you want your home to be at throughout the day. You're able to also get ambient music into your house and set the time at which to play and to stop. And that's just how things are going now.
Right.
And the possibilities are endless.
Right.
Yeah, and again, coming back to our previous conversations, it's all about that network of Wi-Fi connectivity that you establish in the house. As soon as you have that, then the options are endless. You just have to go find those devices that suit your specific lifestyle needs. They are available, and each passing year, you'll just see more and more devices coming onto the market that suit our new types of lifestyles and that uses data for connectivity.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think beyond lifestyle, for me, it's like the intuitive space that everything is moving into. Everybody wants their needs to be met. Everybody wants to be thought about. And I think this really thinks about me and what I need. And what I love lately is that we are all spending so much time at home. And you'd think that you have designed your home to think about you. But we've spent so much time before at school or at our workplaces that our employers and our schools are thinking about our kids and thinking about us. And now it's time to actually design homes that actually have us in mind.
Yeah.
And the more we use our homes and the more we are in that space, the more we can actually think about what those things are,
And I know as a mom, the last thing you also want to think about are the small little things. I'm a chief delegator. I love to delegate everything, even the smaller things, to digital. Right?
Yeah.
So what are kind of the possibilities with regards to Vodacom and creating connected homes? How far can we stretch this connected home in terms of the digital space and creating smart homes?
So Vodacom today already has a number of products that are enabling smart homes. We've got smart tech, our IoT. Remember we spoke about IoT previously. So our smart tech products enable smart homes. You can go, for example, to Voda World today, and there's a whole host of devices on offer and on display where you can see how these devices fits into your new lifestyle, your new digital lifestyle, and how it enables, a new type of doing things. I think also very important is that you got to sit down with your family, have conversations. What do they need, and plan for that going forward. So again, to our previous conversations, making sure you've got enough bandwidth into the house, and that you've got enough Wi-Fi coverage in the house, so that you can connect those devices when they arrive.
Yeah.
The word Internet of Things just finally made sense to me, because literally that is now a thing to me. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, it's like tangible, like it's tangible to me, how the internet is making tangible, like things, making things even more tangible.
I think also very important is that data, fiber and LTE makes technology personable.
That's
so
it.
I am now able to personalize my coffee delivery or the making of my coffee. I'm able to personalize the audio that I listen to, or the video that I view, or how I interact with technology. And that's brilliant for us. I think it enables our houses to become homes because it's now personable.
Absolutely. The things and the possibilities of what you can do and how far you can automate your life and just automate it around the runnings of the home. And, setting, for example, fridge temperatures, I know, are a big thing. And the cute, like I've had conversations with people where it's just like, my kids open the fridge so many times, like when they're at home during the day, after school. So they have to lift up the fridge temperature and then kind of drop the fridge temperature when there's school holidays, because when you open the fridge a lot, it gets warmer. So it's so interesting to know that there's all these things that I can maneuver through that small device.
Things like just even switching off your lights to, like, I guess the sound system has become the most obvious ones, but I think lights, I mean, the amount of times I fight with my parents about, you didn't switch off the light on the porch or whatever. They could do it from anywhere, whether it's the lights, the fridge, and then the security in the home is a big thing. We're constantly fighting about who remembers the code and who's going to switch on the alarm and how do we do it.
I can tell you what's happening in my kitchen right now by going onto my camera.
Exactly.
Literally. I mean, you literally can run your house. And I think it's those efficiencies that make a smart home, because at the end of the day, like, everything that we want in life is to enjoy the spaces we're in. And the enjoyment is not really about tasks and chores. The task and the chore is to go and open a curtain. You can literally open curtains now through automation, and all of those things now have become very energy saving type thought processes. It's not like the more we use technology and the internet, we're actually wasting anything. We're actually being more efficient. We're saving electricity by, like, watching it. We're watching how we're handling some of those things in our homes, which is great.
I think sometimes people underestimate the impact of technology on creating time. We all need time, and we all want more time with our family.
Right.
And we should not underestimate what technology can do for creating time. This new world of working from home, which is driven and supported by technology and data connectivity and fiber and LTE, it gives us time back because we now work from home, and we now have additional time that we can spend not only on ourselves, but with our children and our loved ones.
Right, and so we can actually invest in those things. I was also thinking earlier about, you were talking about the fridge, and fridges, like, sort of being seamless to the kitchen. Things just being seamless, again, is like that level of efficiency, And I think the other thing I just kept thinking about is how my mom's always like, go switch on my electric blanket. Imagine if you go, like, be sitting in one home part.
Switch the geyser on and off.
Oh, the geyser is another one. It is a pain, because you got to time it for everybody at the right time.
And you can actually now time a geyser.
Correct.
Right.
And what technology also does for us through data is that our devices start talking back to the manufacturers of these devices.
Yeah.
Giving them
Or the
insight.
Better
service providers.
optimize.
They now have big data, insights, and they are able to optimize. They are able to improve their products, improve the services, because they now get feedback from those devices in actual use. And I think that's very important for us, because we would like to improve our devices, our technology. We would like to reduce pricing at the same time, and the cost of delivery and the cost of services. And by us giving back information to the manufacturers and the service providers, that will definitely come over time.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You know, another thing that I think about when we think about kind of the efficiency and time is what we're not thinking about, and the other kind of byproduct of all of this is like the health factor, or how we feel, our mental health. And, you know, thinking about how you're saying technology is kind of like creating a space to create. And I think about innovation and inspiration. If our homes are those spaces where we're doing all these things now, like how much more could we kind of like get back? And I think what we're getting back is health. So in design, there's something called ergonomics. And ergonomics thinks about like the formation of your body, how you sit on a chair, how comfortable does something need to be. And I think smart homes definitely will give us like more health, give us more sort of like a sense of living.
Yeah.
Those are things that we're constantly getting back now that we need to be accountable for ourselves. And that's a smart home. It's a sustainable space. You know, it's all just wonderful things.
And I'm like wondering, as you're talking about that, you're talking about the ergonomics of it. You know, it can get quite daunting when somebody has to now wrap their mind around, how do I even put speakers all over this house? How do I even connect the lights? Where do I even start? How do I get my coffee machine to make me coffee on the way down the stairs to go, you know, drop off the kids on the way to work? Where do you start? At what point, you know, do I then start this whole process into transitioning myself into a smart home?
If I look at my own situation, it was only when we were able to get this gluttony of data and internet and high speed into the home that it started creating these thought processes inside my family to say, now we've got this data and we've got this throughput, what do we do with this? And it is slowly but surely getting into a space where you are looking for opportunities to use it. For example, now I can go buy a smart TV and really experience a 4K or 8K television, very high definition. I am now able to really enjoy online gaming because now I have that connectivity into the house. So it is a process of discovery when you have that data connectivity in the house, and then you go look for those opportunities. For example, today Vodacom offers deals with smart television and smart televisions.
And let's clarify that. What is a smart TV?
So a smart TV is fundamentally a television set that can connect to the internet and has onboard capability to store its own apps.
Okay.
So that's fundamentally a smart television.
Okay.
A smart television is pretty much a telephone with a big screen. That is pretty much what it is.
Okay.
So its ability to connect to the internet and load apps so that you can use certain apps on that television.
And the efficiency is quite great. I mean, if you think about it, you would normally have been doing that on your laptop. And now you're able to kind of have that sort of portal to connect to things like Amazon Prime and Netflix or YouTube, you know, together and not apart, you know. So I think that's the duality of that is quite nice, the smart TV.
Yeah. And then now transitioning into, how do I then start getting into the daunting things of, now I want speakers in my home. I want all of this to be integrated into one space. I want this to be able to connect to this one portal that is supplying me with this internet. Is it complicated to get all these things together?
So, not really complicated. If that device needs to connect to the Wi-Fi in order to get to the internet, each and every router has a specific name. We call it the SSID, just the acronym. So I select the SSID or the router name, I connect to it, I put in the password, which is at the back of the router, and I'm connected to it. So connecting and getting onto
It's like
Wi-Fi.
you're plugging all these things, all these
plug it on.
plugs into
Correct.
this thing.
Yes. Now these routers can take up to, in some cases, up to hundreds of various devices.
Sure.
So there's a lot of capability and space to add devices onto the Wi-Fi that's coming from that router. So adding and building up your set of devices and appliances in the home, it's not difficult just to add it to the Wi-Fi connectivity.
Yeah.
And then you'd have generally a panel. I think there's lots of specialists who work with kind of like sound automation and other security automation. So there's probably just like a master device that you would get then to kind of handle all of that. Because you would build onto it. You wouldn't just kind of stop at coffee machine.
Yeah.
You would go...
So there are certain platforms that create a common approach to managing devices, like Alexa and so on. But mostly they are standalone, so you won't necessarily have a speaker or audio speaker manufacturer having connections with a coffee machine manufacturer. So
as in you can't say, hey Siri, make me a cup of coffee, or Alexa.
I probably could.
Certain
You
speakers,
could through there.
certain speakers do allow you through Siri or through Alexa to change the volume on that speaker, for example. But you won't necessarily be able to speak to the coffee machine. You would have to do it through...
Siri, please open up my coffee app.
Yeah.
So it's a path. You start, and you, as you grow into it, you get more and more devices that fit your lifestyle.
Absolutely. I mean, this is exciting because it doesn't necessarily mean that where you place certain things or where you place certain appliances around your house have to necessarily where, you've previously been told where they need to be. I can have my coffee machine in my lounge now.
Correct.
Yeah, you can.
Correct.
I can have my...
Your bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just makes maneuvering life so much easier. But then I want to come to you about like the design and now breaking those rules of design.
I was just thinking
and
about breaking those rules. Yeah.
This is enabling us to be able. I can have everything I need in the small space and lock myself in my room for a whole weekend.
For sure. I think that we've been so traditionalist in the way we'd approached our homes that we never thought of having the kind of the kitchenette in our rooms because, I mean, this is not an Airbnb, it's a home. But more and more, I think we all looking at spaces and going, what's the best way that I can use this space to serve me? And we're also looking at spaces and going, outside of serving others, serving ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I think this is kind of like the differential point between kind of hospitality and self-hospitality, that's self-care and that's self-love, if you think about it. So hospitality is designed to like curate people's experiences through your home. So you'll get a foyer and you'll get an opening drink, whatever. And then, but you walk through a particular space and it's kind of like, this is out of the rules. You don't get to serve yourself here. Now people's homes are like these spaces where like it's open service all the time. It's open bar, it's a drinks tray over there, it's a coffee machine in the corner of the lounge. Now I don't have to wait for the nanny or the aunt. You don't have to ring a bell to call someone to do this for someone, and I think that
it's an experience in itself, right?
It's an experience in itself, and it has far more of a sense of humanity to me than kind of like the service space and this hospitality that's driven by doing these acts out of labor, but rather doing these things because they're smart and they make sense to you in the moment and they deliver what you need. At the end of the day, you need coffee, you need the lights on, you need the security to go on, that's what you need. And we put so many steps between what we need. You have to get up here and walk through this passage.
And does it not
get
change now how we live? Because what I've also seen is smart homes are not necessarily a big house with 4 bedrooms, and it's actually allowed us to create smart homes in our bachelor apartments, in our 1-bedroom apartments, in our functional homes, It's allowed us to use those spaces to the maximum because we're creating pockets of experiences within, a small, what is deemed a small space.
Yeah.
And I think also important is that smart homes are also now starting to touch other aspects of your family over and above the humans in the household. Now you start saying, what does smart technology and data do for the dogs in the house and the cats? Today you can buy tracking devices from Vodacom, which you attach to your
Say
dog's
what?
collar, and you can have a view of where in the world is your dog at the moment. So technology enables not only us as humans, but it also starts bringing in nature and my pets,
Bring them closer to home too.
a broader home approach.
Tell me about those dog tags. Like, is it like a micro SIM inside?
Yes, so it does have a SIM inside, so you can track that dog anywhere in the coverage of mobile coverage.
That is
so you know where
hectic.
the dog is. Yes.
But so that means I can do the same with my kids, right?
Well, that device.
I just imagine like kids on a leash, but an imaginary leash.
No, that device that tag could actually be placed on the book sack of a child, for example, or a dog sack or something like that. Yeah.
And you know how you always lose your car keys and you're like, I wish I could phone them. This is also applies
Maybe
to
I
your car
could,
keys.
yeah. And you lose them in the house all the time. All the time.
That's great.
Wow.
I actually had a question. I'm just wondering, seeing that Vodacom's speaking about so much, and you just kind of stretched my mind beyond sort of the sense of humanity for me. I think intuition is like such a human thing, but not to think about it within your pets or at least some of the other things in your life. And in my mind, I want to understand sort of if there's anything or any technology that sort of brings sort of like the health space into your home. You know, do you see what I'm saying? Like where I'm getting at, because we don't. Again, maybe it's the lighting and how you get your lights to be kind of the right light or the right light, because sometimes people go into a store and buy bulbs and they buy the wrong bulb. Like there's got to be ways where I can make the right decisions through technology on lighting on my home, which is far healthier.
A good example would be the elderly. A lot of families in South Africa, it's a reality. There are elderly people that are cared for in that household.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of there are a lot of solutions out there where you, through data, you monitor certain conditions with that elderly person. And of course, again, that data goes back to a central place where there's a monitoring function to make sure that that specific condition that's being monitored is not escalating, and they
Are those
keep
things
control
like
of it.
humidity? I mean, what are we looking
No,
at?
so let's say, for example, blood pressure.
Okay.
Or there are certain devices that already in the market today where if somebody falls and there's a acceleration, it immediately sparks a notification, and somebody will immediately be notified that it seems that granny has fallen, because that is a real problem with elderly people. So there are already technology that enables us to monitor our well-being, for example, with the elderly.
I know it's like, so for example, my kids and us, we have Fitbits, but they're all connected to my phone. So once I get onto the Wi-Fi, I'm able to pick up on, I can see who's running right now. And I can see who's, because the heart rate is higher, and I can see who's like
Correct.
chilling in their room. And then I can see where they are and what they're doing. And I can already monitor, and then I press a button, I can beep, and I can see who's beeping where in the house.
But further to your point also, when the lockdown started, a lot of people weren't able to go on the road and jog or cycle. They couldn't go outside. So today there are a number of technologies already in existence where I can be on a treadmill and I've got a television set in front of me and I'm running with other people from all over the world. Technologies and solutions and services.
So everybody's in the same room together and we're cycling.
I'm cycling with people from all around the world through this data that is provided by either LTE or fiber.
Amazing.
One of the most interesting things for me that I'd love explored, what I did just before the lockdown, so like on a Tuesday before the Thursday in March, at the end of March, I went to the flower shop, to the nursery, and bought like indoor plants. because now the necessity for me to be around greenery was like far more like there was going to be a greater need. I needed to feel the environment to be different. And then there's like sort of changes of like cushions, because I'm going to get bored, like I'm going to have to change this. And then it was like I've got green and then I've got pink, I can move between these energies. And then it was like, oh, if I put wallpaper, then I might need to change it. And then like there's these screens, like I have a headboard, like that's a screen, you could pack it up, pack it down, depending what you need. And for us as I guess influencers, you'd say you need different backdrops and like the limited amount of walls you have in your space. What I would find interesting, if there's technologies in which you could, almost project something like that would change the artwork, or at least a feature wall in your home, depending what you're doing.
Actually,
so like, I do
there is
yoga
something
in my
like that.
room.
Actually, there is something like that. There's this new Samsung TV that you can actually, once again, you have to connect it to your internet and everything, and it just changes backdrops according to, you can choose a
On
mood.
the TV or a projector.
And it's got a whole frame that looks like a picture frame.
Ah. Well,
I've seen it a couple of times, and I've seen a few influencers actually online with that in their
changing
homes.
the backdrop.
It's actually like a painting or a picture frame when you're looking at it,
Yeah.
and then you turn it on, it's a TV.
And I mean, imagine if you were to say yoga room, and then the room is like total zen, lots of green and black accents, and then you go,
can actually do that. You change the
flower
light,
house.
change the lines, you change the this, and you project this, and the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
We could go on and on and on, right?
And that's all just on consumption
That's
and connectivity.
all just on connectivity.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever's out there, you can bring it into your home just from connectivity.
Lastly, I would like also to mention that we create as a household a lot of content.
Yeah.
We create our own content, but where do we store this content?
Oh, on a cloud
Where do we
somewhere.
place it? We better store it on the cloud, because we never know
Gone are
when.
the days of opening up photo albums to show the the visitors, like these were my babies when they were.
So what the data enables us is to take that content and store it in the cloud.
Yeah.
So that's very important for us as well, because that also forms part of us as a family and as a household, is that content that we create.
That content is connection. That's so incredible. The first thing you think about when you lose your phone, well, gone are the days.
I think about
if you
all
haven't backed
all the
up,
images.
you lose all of that.
All
and
the
that is
images
a disconnect.
I've lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It creates a disconnect.
I mean,
that's a beautiful way of
that
looking
is
at it.
actually, I mean, and I want to hold it right there, because that is exactly, I think we sometimes do it for those memories, the things that we'll hold the dearest, those memories that we will treasure forever.
Yeah.
And that's what it is to be a connected family. And that's why we create the smart spaces around us, to have something to look at, to have something to look back at as well, and something to hold dear. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Smart Home. Don't forget, we have 2,500 Rand vouchers from the Art of Superwoman online store to give away. So comment, share, do the things, and you might just be the winner. Until next time.